It's 7:30. Good morning. I'm Ian Crouch with Hunter News. Police have arrested two Sydney men who allegedly tried to smuggle a loaded gun, drugs and cash into Cessnock Jail. Joanne Elliott from Police Headquarters says the 26 and 22-year-olds were stopped as they attempted to drive into the facility on Saturday.
Police attached to the Central Hunter Target Action Group and the Corrective Services Security Operations Group were conducting a joint operation and searched this vehicle. They allegedly located and seized a loaded handgun, white powder believed to be cocaine, almost $5,000 in cash and 5 mobile phones. The men were taken to Maitland Police Station. They've been charged with numerous offences.
Police say two rallies at Newcastle's Foreshore Park were peaceful with no arrests. Reclaim Australia protesters and supporters marched near each other yesterday morning, but there was no trouble, unlike similar events in Sydney and Melbourne. More than 100 police, including the riot squad and dog unit, were on hand. The New South Wales Maritime Service has introduced 13 permanent boating education officers across the Hunter and New South Wales coastline. This introduction follows several boating incidents in the region, including the death of local fishermen near Broughton Island last month. New South Wales Maritime Director Angus Mitchell says these officers will help promote safety and boating awareness within the boating community.
It's a combination of awareness. So it's awareness of what some of the safety requirements are, and particularly around the legislation of when you need to wear a life jacket. But I think it's also around getting people to take responsibility of their vessels on the water and make sure that themselves and that any of the passengers they have are wearing life jackets.
BHP Billiton has gone through its archives and uncovered an old book revealing the number of fatalities at the former Newcastle Steelworks. The long-lost folder lists 189 people who died. 133 of those were from employment-related injuries. The Herald has added another 50 names, as the register doesn't have details for every year the steelworks were operating. Upgrades to Cessnock camping and recreation areas are expected to bring a new crowd of tourists to the region. Dump points for RVs have opened at Kurri Kurri and Branxton, providing alternative accommodation options for travellers. Cessnock Recreation and Community Facilities Coordinator Nathan Everly says further upgrades will be made to the facilities over the next 12 months to encourage more tourists to the region.
Works at Branxton Oval will include solar lighting for overnight stays, signage and improved fencing and some drainage.
Residents around East Medowie, Saltash and Lemon Tree Passage can expect a bit more activity in the sky from today. The Air Force is starting its training at the Saltash Air Weapons Range, which will run for the next month, while night flying practice will also commence tonight. However, they've promised to do all they can to keep the noise down.
Sport, thanks to our sponsor Warners Bay Sports Club.
Knights centre Dane Gagai will have more tests today after an irregular heartbeat forced him off the field in Saturday's win over the Titans. The 24-year-old was taken to the John Hunter Hospital, where he received a mild electrical shock to normalise his heartbeat. Coach Rick Stone says he realised how serious it was when the club's physiotherapist alerted him to the problem.
The physio came and said Gag's not going back on. You know, he's not feeling well. He might have a bit of a virus, and he was getting some dizzy spells out there. So he didn't return, obviously, in the second half.
The Southern Beaches rugby union team have made their way back to the top 5 after a 22-10 victory against Nelson Bay. The former grand finalists put an end to a 4-game losing streak, and coach Wayne Quinlan says they're set for a major revival. With University going down to Wanderers and Maitland losing to Hamilton, Southern Beaches went up 2 positions from 7th place. And in AFL, Terrigal Avoca defeated Cardiff by a huge window of 28-14-182 to 4-6-30 at Adcock Park. Cardiff had only just overcome a 9-game losing streak last week against Nelson Bay and struggled to kick a single goal in the last quarter. 2NURFM News Time 26 to 8.